There is a mental command spoken in absolute silence that possesses the immediate power to disarm all despair and restore your complete inner strength. When you become entirely still and issue a serene command in the depths of your soul, the entire visible universe is compelled to rearrange itself around that truth. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that your deep mind never responds to screams of anguish or desperate pleas. It responds solely to the unshakable authority of what you accept as an accomplished fact within. Most people spend their entire lives trying to fix their reality through exhaustion, excessive worry, and violent struggle. They fight with the shadows on the wall while completely ignoring the projector casting the image. If your heart carries an invisible burden at this exact moment, understand one fundamental truth. Your battle has never been against people, debts, or passing circumstances. Your only real confrontation has always been against the incorrect impressions engraved upon your deep mind. You know all too well the exhaustion of rowing against a current that never stops. That moment when, no matter how hard you work, pray, and try to keep your head high, a suffocating sense of helplessness insists on invading your days. You have felt this tightness in your chest when lying in bed, staring at the dark ceiling and mentally calculating how you are going to solve everything tomorrow. This pain is not born from a lack of ability or worthiness. It is born from the silent division between what you desire on the surface and what you truly feel in the depths of your soul. On the surface, you ask for peace, prosperity, and immediate relief. But in the depths, the feeling that dominates your chest is still the dread of loss, the fear of humiliation, and the certainty of lack. When you beg for a way out in a state of distress, what does your inner being actually register? It does not hear the well-crafted words you speak with your mouth. It registers only the vibration of panic, the tension in your stomach, and the feeling of helplessness. The subconscious is impersonal, infinitely fertile, and neutral. It does not judge the quality of the seed and does not argue with you. It simply welcomes the dominant feeling as a sovereign command and begins to architect the exact material conditions to confirm that state. Say this out loud or repeat it silently in your heart. Divine peace now governs all thoughts of my deep mind. When a person understands this living mechanism, all anxiety loses its reason to exist. Arthur Pendleton was 43 years old when he found himself with no way out in the city of Boston in the harsh winter of 1952. His hands trembled violently as he held the third eviction notice on the cold mahogany desk of his home office. The harsh wind battered the old windows, making the wood creak while the bitter smell of reheated coffee filled the silent room. Arthur looked at the open ledger books and felt a suffocating lump in his throat. His small textile distribution business was sinking in debt, and bankruptcy seemed the only inevitable outcome. For months, he spent the early hours of the morning on his knees, weeping and pleading with God not to let his family lose their home. But the more he prayed, gripped by the terror of ruin, the more clients canceled contracts and the more creditors knocked at his door. It was through a detailed study of the laws of the mind that Arthur understood his fatal mistake. He was asking for help from the frequency of poverty. Every desperate prayer was, in truth, a powerful affirmation that lack was more real than divine providence. He was operating under the law of reversed effort. The more he forced an answer through fear, the more he solidified the material blockage. Arthur made a radical decision and immediately stopped the struggle in the outer world. 3 times a day, he would isolate himself in a quiet room, sit upright in his armchair, close his eyes, rest his hands on his lap, and apply what we call the protocol of sovereign silence. He did not ask for money, he did not ask for clients, and he strictly refused to utter the words debt or eviction. He merely slowed his breathing until he felt his heartbeat turn gentle, and then rested in the certainty that infinite intelligence had already provided the perfect outcome. He quieted the conscious mind until the intellect stopped projecting tragedies. He kept his mind in absolute rest, knowing that the subconscious works with maximum efficiency when the human ego steps out of the way. In less than 6 weeks, a former industrial buyer from Philadelphia, who had not been in touch for nearly a decade, reached out to Arthur offering to purchase all his surplus inventory above market value, in addition to proposing a long-term exclusive representation contract. The debt was settled in record time, the eviction notice was canceled, and peace returned to Arthur's home like a serene and abundant tide. Arthur did not need to manipulate people, resort to humiliating loans, or exhaust himself in fruitless arguments. He merely altered the invisible mold within himself, and physical reality had no choice but to bow to this new pattern of consciousness. This mechanism operates through what we define as the point of absolute neutrality. It is the state of mind where you strip all drama from external circumstances and strictly refuse to feed dread with your conscious attention. Where your attention does not exist, the problem simply loses the fuel to continue existing. Every time you react with despair to an incoming bill, difficult news, or harsh words from someone, you are signing an unconscious decree of permanence for that pain. You surrender your divine sovereignty to the fleeting illusion of appearances. But the moment you silence the noise of fear and claim the harmony of the infinite intelligence that dwells in the center of your chest, the entire mechanism of creation begins to work in your favor. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. Infinite power now restores perfect harmony in my life. Observe how your breath flows in this instant. Feel the air gently entering your lungs without you having to force a single thing. The same supreme intelligence that keeps your heart beating at a constant rhythm while you sleep deeply is the living force that governs your health, your prosperity, and your destiny. It does not need your despair to act. It only needs you to get out of the way and stop interrupting the natural flow of abundance with constant doubt. The most common mistake of the conscious mind is to assume that the intensity of anguish accelerates the divine response. The more agitated you become, the more you solidify the wall of separation. Subconscious wisdom works in unshakable stillness, in the sacred territory where the noise of the world cannot enter. Understanding these laws in theory is the first step for anyone who wishes to stop being a hostage to their own emotions and passing crises. For those who feel that the exact moment has come to take command of their deep mind and apply this method in a structured, permanent way in daily life, the subconscious code is the natural path to align your life with the flow of prosperity and lasting peace. True prayer has never been a desperate plea cast into the void. It is the silent acceptance of a reality that has already been accomplished in the invisible realm. When you understand the pillar of scientific prayer, you immediately stop bargaining with the Creator. You stop begging like a beggar by the roadside and step into your true spiritual standing. Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that the science of the mind operates with the exact precision of the laws of physics or chemistry. If you combine the correct elements in your consciousness, the reaction in matter is inevitable. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in an exhausting cycle of frustrated prayers. They enter their rooms, close the doors, and spend hours repeating words of suffering, detailing their pain, the size of their debts, and the severity of diagnoses. They believe that the intensity of weeping moves infinite intelligence, but the subconscious mind does not respond to human drama. It responds only to the certainty engraved in feeling. Think of your conscious mind as the captain on the deck of a massive ocean liner. The captain gives the orders, observes the horizon, and makes decisions based on what the physical senses show. But what truly moves the tons of steel through the turbulent waves is the crew in the engine room, invisible to the eyes of those on the surface. That engine room is your deep mind. The crew does not question where the ship is heading. They do not debate whether the route chosen by the captain will lead to a safe harbor or straight into a coral reef. If the captain transmits orders of shipwreck and panic, the crew simply executes the commands with absolute precision. How many times have you been sending messages of terror to your own engine room without realizing it? Every time you say that life is hard, that money does not last, or that your health is failing, you are issuing a direct command to the engine of your existence. You program your own ruin, believing that you are merely describing reality. But your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real in the external world and what you accept as real in the silence of your imagination. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. Infinite wisdom now responds to the absolute conviction of my soul. Consider the earth beneath your feet. The fertile soil holds no moral preferences or prejudices. If a farmer places the seed of a sweet apple tree in the ground and, right beside it, plants the poisonous seed of hemlock, the soil welcomes both with the same neutral generosity. The earth does not refuse to germinate the poisonous plant because it brings death. It merely provides the exact nutrients for the nature of that seed to manifest in the tree. Your subconscious mind is precisely this infinitely receptive soil. The thought you nurture with emotion is the seed. The conditions, events, and experiences of your daily life are the harvested fruits. You cannot harvest sweet grapes by planting thorn bushes of bitterness and lack. It is a mathematical and spiritual impossibility. There is a deeply rooted limiting belief in collective consciousness that suffering purifies the soul and pleases the divine. How many times have you heard that poverty is a sign of virtue, or that the pain you carry consists of tests imposed to prove your endurance? This illusion imprisons millions of minds in a perpetual state of resignation and misery. The supreme intelligence has never desired your lack, your illness, or your despair. Life always seeks to expand life. The vital principle that makes a flower bloom through concrete wants you to prosper, love, and live with full dignity. Poverty is not a spiritual virtue. Poverty is a true mental disease caused by blind belief in lack and separation from the divine. To disarm this illusion and take definitive control of your subconscious, we have developed a practice we call the anchoring of unshakable certainty. It is the scientific method of silencing the voice of the doubting intellect and establishing conviction in the desired outcome before any physical evidence appears before your eyes. When you apply scientific prayer, you do not try to convince God to do something for you. You harmonize your own mind with the abundance that already exists in a potential state in the universe. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that your prayer is answered in the exact millisecond you cease doubting its inner realization. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. The divine flow fills my existence with constant abundance and peace. Look at a movie projector in a dark room. It projects images of storms, battles, or tragedies onto a vast white screen. But if you stand up from your seat, run to the screen, and try to erase the shadows with your bare hands, nothing will happen except your own exhaustion. The shadows will remain there because the matrix of the image is inside the projector's lens. The outer world, your finances, your medical reports, the behavior of others is merely the white screen. Your subconscious is the film passing before the light of consciousness. To change the film of your life, you do not argue with the physical projection. You replace the pattern engraved upon the invisible matrix of the deep mind. The deconstruction of old mental patterns does not happen through violent effort, but through the methodical, daily, and disciplined replacement of dominant thoughts. The human mind is an organism of habit. If for 30, 40, or 50 years you have been conditioned to fear the future and distrust life, you need a structured process to clear away old impressions and engrave divine truth into your essence. It is for this reason that the 21-day period of mental reprogramming proves so powerful and transformative. 21 days is the exact biological and psychological cycle that the brain and subconscious mind require to deactivate old neural pathways of lack and solidify new channels of abundance and unshakable faith. When you submit to a daily discipline of inner cleansing during this time, the old victim identity dissolves completely, giving way to an awakened consciousness aligned with the eternal laws of prosperity. The subconscious code was built precisely upon this scientific foundation of 21 days of deep reconfiguration, delivering the daily guidance necessary for your mind to become an unobstructed channel of the infinite presence. The moment has come to disarm all defenses of your intellect and surrender the weight of your story to the only power capable of transforming the invisible into concrete reality. Scientific prayer is not an exercise in vague hope, nor an attempt to bend the will of the universe through suffering. It is the highest spiritual authority a human being can exercise on earth. It is the mathematical certainty that what you decree in the sacred soil of your mind is already a living reality before infinite intelligence. In this instant, wherever you are, allow the rushed pace of your day to slow down completely. Let your shoulders drop gently. Release the tension in your jaw, relax the muscles of your face, and feel the air entering and leaving your chest in a continuous, tranquil flow. You no longer need to fight, argue, or defend yourself. Surrender with absolute trust to this prayer, letting every word sink deep into the innermost layers of your subconscious mind. The infinite presence that created the universe is the very sovereign life that pulses in the center of my chest. I recognize now that I am an unobstructed channel of divine wisdom, harmony, and abundance. Every impression of lack, fear, or helplessness that once occupied my mind is dissolved at this moment by the light of truth. Divine intelligence knows the perfect solution for every material challenge that presents itself before me. It opens doors that no human force can shut. It connects invisible paths and attracts the right people, the necessary resources, and the perfect opportunities for the expansion of my life. I do not fight against the circumstances of the outer world. I know that all visible reality is merely the reflection of my dominant thoughts. Therefore, I take command of my deep mind and declare that peace governs my emotions. Perfect health fills every cell of my body, and inexhaustible wealth flows into my hands in a worthy, abundant, and continuous manner. What I seek is already seeking me with equal intensity. The answer to my prayer was already born in the invisible realm, and now materializes with order, harmony, and unshakable beauty. I rest in the certainty that the law of the subconscious never fails. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. Divine power acts now on my behalf, and nothing can prevent my victory. Feel the truth contained in this affirmation echoing throughout your entire being. The peace you experience now is not fleeting. It is your true spiritual nature, free from all masks of limitation that the world has attempted to place upon you. You were never a helpless victim of circumstances, economic crises, or other people's opinions. You are the living expression of infinite intelligence on earth. You are the rightful heir to all the harmony, health, and prosperity that sustain the cosmos. At the exact moment you accept this truth, all the creative authority of the universe aligns with your voice. As you lie down tonight, in the sacred instant when sleep begins to envelop your senses, do not take worries, unfinished business, or fears of tomorrow to your bed. Place your hand gently over the center of your chest. Take 3 deep breaths, feel the calm beating of your heart, and repeat only these 2 words until you drift off to sleep: wealth and peace. Let these words be the last impression engraved upon your subconscious before rest. The journey of true mental transformation does not end here. It requires a daily, structured commitment so that the roots of lack never sprout in your reality again. For those who feel called to consolidate this definitive change over 21 days of deep reprogramming, the subconscious code is the natural next step of the journey you began today. The link is in the description and pinned comments of this video. Go in peace. The infinite presence guards your rest and governs all your steps.